Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, yes,
The victims are here.
okay.
So is that gonna be a Zoom? Because I think she's still.
She's in
alive.
custody.
Okay,
So if they want to come in and give their victim impact statements from this. Oh, no, you guys have jury today.
yeah, but I'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is my courtroom, so I'll be here.
thank you. They submitted letters that they want to come in and be heard. That's fine. What's going on?
Okay.
You know, I'm gone Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
What's it?
You know, I'm gone Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
It's a
Okay,
conference.
all right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I can't take these Fridays off anymore. Wears me out.
Become babysitter.
Oh, my God. With the Lions game. Well, we babysat Friday morning, and then we watched, we went to a garage party. Everybody takes a turn, and so then Saturday, we went to Lions game, and then went right to Royal Oak. And they said, we're just going out to dinner, we'll be back early. Oh, 12:30, they're rolling in. Yeah. I'm like, do you realize we have an hour drive? And I'm dodging drunks, you know. Then yesterday we left about 8:30 and took the grandkids to Frankenmuth. Oh, I said, I promise we'll be home at 5.
You know, it was a lot.
I rolled in the driveway about 8:30, but every year it's the same way. I shouldn't even ask, just go. Because all I am really is a driver. And it was hotter than hot up there. And they had, I bet you if they had one, they had 20 tour buses that were just full. And people think you're really getting deals up there.
Mm-mm. You're getting, this is the last family trip before school starts.
Mhm.
Everybody's trying to cram in everything. I know.
And they're trying to get all these good deals on clothes and shoes and
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
so we have another one.
Sisler,
Yeah.
he's in custody in Belleville.
Oh, he is in custody.
He's in custody.
So he's going to be Zoom
He's
too.
gonna be zoned. Andy told me that they picked him up on another, he has another warrant from an older, from not older, but from an April case, I think.
He went into hardware. You know, he's banned from everywhere.
No.
Trespassed. Oh, every store up and down Main Street. Yeah. So we went in the hardware and he was telling people that are in the hardware, not workers, but people, customers, that he's an airline pilot for Delta Airlines. And so they're throwing him out of there and he's saying, I'll be back later this afternoon, so I want to buy a hammer and I'm going to bring a bomb. He's just a nut.
First time I heard his name was within the last couple of months. The name is, well, if I've heard it before.
We quit taking his pills. That's when his wife died and he quit taking his pills.
I can't. I just, it's too much.
He lost his car. They auctioned it off. And it was paid for. So the last time he got out of Wayne County Jail, he walked home. And he blamed the police.
He walked home
He
from
walked
downtown.
home. He says 35 miles. But anyway, all right. That's good to know that Sizzle's not coming today.
No, Andy told me, and since we're arraignments, we'll figure it out.
Right. What time do you want those? I think her sentencing's at 9. What time do you want them in the courtroom?
They can come in at about 9.
Okay.
If it comes earlier, I'll have Mary call you. And let you know.
Okay, sounds good.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm good. How are you? It was great. Thanks for, yeah, it was. Thanks. How are you doing? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, uh-huh. Oh, okay, all right. You have your files for today? Okay, all right, cool. All right, thanks for the heads up. Okay, bye. Morning, James. Like, can you hear me?
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
Hi, this is Sykes. What case are you here for?
for Michael Sizzler.
Okay, thank you. Are you just observers?
I'm actually his neighbor. I would like
Okay.
to
And
be
I'm
able
the
to.
daughter of the neighbor.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Well, wait a second, Mr. Hadley. Are you here?
I am here.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Today's kind of a new one for me. I'm here. Let's see. So it looks like several of the sentencings I think Sammer's got covered.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll just kind of hang tight. I'm here whenever.
okay, all right, thank you.
And are you in for an attorney?
Yes, in person. My attorney, I think he's gonna be on the last.
Oh, okay, it was. Oh, Sam? Yeah, that's. It's whole name Sam.
Yeah.
Like Sam, yeah, okay, thanks.
Morning, Sammer, how you doing?
Good morning, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Miss Lindsay is here. Do you need a breakout room with her or are you all set?
I'm all set. I've already spoken.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, I try to keep it, I keep it as far away because all I have to do. And then you remember, yes.
Morning, ma'am, who's identified as Leanne.
Good
Can you
morning,
hear me? Hi, what case are you here for?
Michael's sister.
Are you his attorney or?
No, I'm his sister and I was his power of attorney.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
She checked in downstairs, but no one was there. She says her attorney's supposed to be in. So, just let me know. Let me just. Okay, thanks. All right.
You may be seated. Mr. Grant,
Yes.
what are you ready to proceed with, sir?
I'm just trying to coordinate whose attorney is ready, ma'am. I think Ms. Bird and Mr. Jadala will be ready. As well as Mr. Martinez and Jadala. And it looks like Ms. Lindsay is also on Zoom. She's Jadala as well.
Thank you. This is 230460 OD. This is City of Romulus versus Dominique Bird.
In respect to your honor, Sam Iguodala, 62186, appearing on behalf of Mrs. Bird.
Good morning.
Good morning.
State your name for me, please.
Dominique Ariel Bird.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for sentencing in this matter. Mr. Jadala, have you had the opportunity to review the PSI with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I've had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Bird, and she understands the recommendation being made by probation. She respectfully requests this court adopt the recommendation. When it comes to the financial responsibility that's going to be assessed, we just ask that the judge please consider the minimum fines and costs.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for sentencing. There was an offense date of June 10th, 2023 in the city of Romulus, at which time Ms. Bird was charged with operating while intoxicated. She appeared before this court on July 20th, 2023, and entered a plea of guilty to the reduced count of operating while visibly impaired. The court has had the opportunity to review the report prepared by Agent Anthony Grant, along with Ms. Bird's criminal history, driving record, and the police report from this incident. Ma'am, is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf before sentence is imposed in this matter?
No, ma'am, I am aware of everything and I'm ready to accept my sentencing.
Thank you. Mr. Jadala, the court will adopt the recommendation made by Anthony Grant and will impose the following. Ms. Bird will be placed on 6 months of probation with all oversight fees associated therewith. The court will impose a fine of $300, cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $150 in restitution due to the city of Romulus. There is $50 mandatory state costs and $20 fund fee. Ms. Bird will enroll in substance abuse treatment or alcohol education within the next 30 days and follow all recommendations from that program. Provide documentation to the probation department as directed. You will not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages or non-prescription controlled or mood-altering substances without the approval of the court. And you will submit to random ETG testing at least once per month or as otherwise directed by the probation department. You will make equal monthly payments on the fines and cost oversight fees that have been imposed in this matter. Ms. Byrd, please understand that the sentence of the court is not to be punitive. The goal is not to see you again. So along your 6 months probation, if there's anything that Mr. Grant can do to help you be successful in probation, reach out to him when you're having a little issue. Don't wait till it's a big problem, okay?
Okay,
Any questions?
no, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Grant will be in contact and communication with you. There'll be forms for you to sign. They'll help you get set up on a formal payment plan and help you get enrolled in the class that we discussed this morning, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Byrd, you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is 2303080D. This is City of Romulus versus Latanya Lindsay. Thank you.
Respect for Your Honor, Samer Jadala, P 62186, appearing on behalf of Ms. Lindsay, who joins us via Zoom. Ms. Lindsay, please state your name.
Seneca Lynn.
I'm sorry, ma'am. You seem to have a little bit of an audio issue. Would you repeat your name for me again, please?
I do apologize, Your Honor. Only a Seneca Lynn.
No worries. Thank you very much. Today is the day and time set for sentencing in this matter. Mr. Jadala, have you had the opportunity to review the report and recommendation with your client?
I have, Your Honor. I've been able to speak with Ms. Lindsay. We have gone over the PSI. There are no errors, omissions, corrections, or deletions. Your Honor, at this time, we're going to respectfully request that you adopt the recommendations made by probation, and we'd like to allocate just a bit on Ms. Lindsay's behalf.
Thank you. Today's sentences arises out of the offense date of February 3rd, 2023, at which time Lindsay was charged with operating while intoxicated in the city of Romulus. She appeared before this court on July 6, 2023, and entered a plea of guilty to the reduced count of operating while visibly impaired. As is this court's policy with drinking and driving offenses, Ms. Lindsay was referred to the court's probation department, and Mr. Grant did interview her and develop a sentence recommendation, which has been forwarded to the court. The court has reviewed that recommendation along with the needs assessment, the police report, Ms. Lindsay's driving record and criminal history, and is prepared to impose sentence. Mr. Jadala, there was something else you wanted to say on her behalf?
I just wanted to let the court know that Ms. Lindsay does live in Georgia, Your Honor. She lives in Georgia. She's a surgical technician in Georgia. Your Honor, recently she just purchased a new home. She was had to pay lots of property taxes, in Your Honor, to bring that home back up to speed. We just asked that the financial situation in her job is now changed a bit. She's no longer employed to where she reported. Currently, she just works on a per diem basis through an agency that places her. So we just asked the court to keep all fines and costs as low as possible, Your Honor. But otherwise, we just respectfully request you adopt all the recommendations made by probation.
Understood, Mr. Jadala. Thank you for the explanation. Ms. Lindsay, the court's concern in this matter is that although this is your first drinking and driving offense, you started in Southfield, you were headed towards Novi, you ended up in the city of Romulus. There's a cause for great concern, along with your recorded blood alcohol content at the time that you engaged police, which was a 0.15. That's the extent of this court's lecture for the morning, just a concern for the public's safety. The court will adopt the recommendation made by probation officer Anthony Grant and place you on 6 months of reporting probation with all oversight fees associated therewith. The court will impose a fine of $300, cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victim fee. There is $150 in restitution to the city of Romulus. There is $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. That's $935. Additionally, you will engage in alcohol education or substance abuse treatment within 30 days and follow all recommendations of that program, providing documentation to this court's probation department as directed and requested. You will not purchase, possess, consume alcoholic beverages or non-prescription controlled or mood-altering substances without the court's approval, and you will submit to random testing as directed by the probation department. You will make equal monthly payments on the fines and costs imposed in this matter. And Ms. Lindsay, as I advised the first person this morning, this court's sentence should not be taken as punitive or penalty-driven, but more to keep you from reoffending. This court wants you to be successful in probation, would ask if you have any issues meeting the requirements of your sentence, that you reach out to Mr. Grant sooner rather than later when you have a little hiccup versus when you have a big stumble. Anything else, Mr. Jadala, this morning in this matter?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Lindsay?
Nothing further. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Grant will be in contact and communication with you to have you sign documents that will formally place you on probation and help you establish a payment plan for your fines and costs. Good luck to you, ma'am. You have a wonderful afternoon, okay?
Thank you, Susan. Karen.
You're welcome. Thank you. This is 2302940D. This is City of Romulus versus John Martinez.
Respectfully, Your Honor, Sam Jadala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Martinez. Mr. Martinez, could you state your name for the record?
John Martinez.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for sentencing in this matter. Mr. Jadala, have you had the opportunity to review the PSI with your client?
Your Honor, I believe Mr. Martinez was sent to PSI. I attempted to contact him yesterday to no avail. Your Honor, I believe he independently has reviewed it. I don't know if he has or not, but I've gone over it, and we'd be asking that the court adopt the recommendations.
Mr. Martinez, you have reviewed the report prepared by Mr. Grant?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you were able to hear Mr. Jadala clearly just now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Again, today is the day and time set for sentencing in this matter. There was offense dated February 13, 2023, at which time Mr. Martinez was charged with operating while intoxicated, driving while unlicensed, or without cycle endorsement. He appeared before this court and entered a plea of guilty on July 6, 2023 to operating while intoxicated. This court has received a report from Mr. Grant, reviewed it in its entirety, along with the police report, the needs assessment. And we'll note for the record that count 2 in this case, which was driving while unlicensed or without cycle endorsement, was dismissed. Mr. Martinez, the court has concerns, although this was your first drinking and driving offense with the court, your age at the time of this offense, and the alcohol use and substance use that you disclosed to Mr. Grant has the court concerned about crafting the best possible sentence in this matter. That being the case, the court will adopt the recommendation of Mr. Grant, place you on 12 months of reporting probation with all associated oversight fees in that matter, impose a fine of $500, cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. There's a $50 show cause fee for a prior failure to appear. Restitution of $150 to the city of Romulus. That's $1,425, $1,425, as my math is correct, Mr. Grant. Additionally, Mr. Martinez, you will complete 24 hours of community service at a nonprofit organization and provide documentation to probation as directed. If you don't already have a relationship with a nonprofit where you can get these 24 hours in, Mr. Grant or Mr. Taylor downstairs in the probation department have a variety of different opportunities for you to complete those hours. That needs to be completed within the first 6 months of your probation. You will engage in substance abuse treatment beginning within the next 30 days and follow all recommendations from that program and provide documentation to the probation department as directed. You will not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages or non-prescription controlled mood-altering substances without this court's approval, and you will submit to random ETG testing at a minimum of twice per month or as otherwise directed by the probation department. You will make regular monthly payments on the fines and costs that have been imposed in this matter. You've heard the lecture already this morning, Mr. Martinez. This court's goal is for you not to reoffend in this matter and support you in every way possible through your probation. Reach out to Mr. Grant if you need assistance or support in getting connected to any of the substance abuse treatment or programming or again, your community service hours. Mr. Jadala, anything else for Mr. Martinez this morning?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Martinez?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Grant will be in contact and communication with you. There'll be documents for you to execute to formally place you on probation, and he'll help you get a payment plan set up in this matter. You have a wonderful day and good luck to you, sir. Thank you.
I answered it to your phone.
Ma'am, Chief,
Oh,
mute
sorry.
yourself, please. Thank you.
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure, I do have another matter. It's for a client at the Wayne County Jail, Shantanique Gorey. Is she still scheduled to appear?
She is still scheduled.
And I'll just mute myself and wait for her to appear, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Jadala. Thank you. And yeah, I knew there was another case pending. They do that one first. Wait, what do you mean? Are they already over there? Oh, but if he's at 10 o'clock and we're at 9:30, okay. Okay. This is 230488 SD. This is State of Michigan versus Brandon DeVito. May I have your appearance, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Trevor Daniel appearing on behalf of Brandon DeVito.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brandon DeVito.
Good morning. Mr. Daniel, you've had the opportunity to review the PSI from Officer Grant.
That's correct, and I have reviewed it with my client. It is accurate, and we would ask the court to adopt the recommendations.
Thank you. Mr. Daniel, anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client before sentence is imposed?
Yes, just that he has held a very stable job with DTE the last 2 years. He does work long hours with DTE as a home protection plan install technician. He is randomly tested for drugs and alcohol through DTE, and he has enrolled in Apex Behavioral Health Counseling Program. He meets monthly with his counselor, and he's met with her about 9 times already this year.
Thank you. The court has again reviewed the PSI in this matter, along with the needs assessment, the police report in this matter, and Mr. DeVito's criminal history or lack thereof and driving record. Mr. DeVito, the court's concern is that although your blood alcohol content was one of the lowest ones this morning, that you ran into a pole, you could have seriously injured yourself or someone else. This court doesn't lecture, just makes note of the facts of the case. There's a concern for public safety if you drink to that level and then get on the roadway where other people are. This was an offense date of October 1st, 2022 in Huron Township, at what time Mr. DeVito was charged with operating while intoxicated. He appeared before this court on July 26, 2023, and entered a plea of guilty to the reduced count of operating while visibly impaired. As is this court's policy with drinking and driving offenses, he was referred to the probation department where the sentence recommendation was developed. And inasmuch as Mr. Daniel indicates that he has reviewed that with Mr. DeVito, the court will adopt the recommendation in its entirety, place Mr. DeVito on 6 months of reporting probation, where he will be responsible for all associated oversight fees. Court will impose a fine of $300, cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $206 of restitution in Huron Township, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. That's a total of $991. He will also, Mr. Daniel, I heard you indicate that he's already enrolled in the program. I would ask that he follow the recommendations of that program and provide documentation to the probation department as requested. If that program is sufficient to meet the requirements of paragraph 6, that Mr. DeVito enroll in substance abuse treatment or alcohol education, Mr. Grant will make the court aware of it, and that will satisfy that obligation. Mr. DeVito will not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages or non-prescription controlled or mood-altering substances without this court's approval, and will submit to random testing a minimum of once per month or as otherwise directed by the probation department. I heard you indicate that he is tested for work. I don't know if that would be sufficient for Mr. Grant's. He's shaking his head no, that will not be sufficient, so that he will need to test independently of whatever he's doing at work. He will make equal monthly payments on the fines costs associated with the sentence in this matter. And again, sir, this court wants you to be successful in probation, hopes not to see you again. Mr. Grant is readily available by phone, by email. If there's anything you need to be successful in probation, reach out to him when there's a small issue. Don't wait until there's a big problem. Anything else this morning, Mr. Daniel?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, sir?
What was that total of the fines, ma'am?
$991.
Okay.
Mr. Grant will double check my math before he's in contact with you. Did I say Mr. Grant or did I call you something else? Mr. Grant. Mr. Grant will double check my math before he's in contact with you. Again, there'll be forms for you to sign that will place you formally on probation. He'll help you get your payment plan set up, okay?
Thank you very much.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Have a good day. Good luck to you.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Daniel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay. This is 230193OD. This is City of Romulus versus Alexandra Wargo.
Good morning, Your Honor. Justin Zade appearing on behalf of Ms. Wargo, who is present in the courtroom. Ms. Wargo, can you say your full name?
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexandra Wargo.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for sentencing in this matter. Sir, have you had the opportunity to review the PSI developed by Officer Grant with your client?
Yes, Your Honor. As you indicated, this is the day and time set for sentencing. We did review the PSI. We believe it to be factually accurate. No additions, revisions, or corrections, Your Honor. I just wanted to allocate on my client's behalf real quickly.
Absolutely, sir. Please proceed.
Thank you. Ms. Wargo is 28 years old, Your Honor. She's a single mother of 4 children. She just recently started a new job at a hotel, at the Hilton, and she's trying to make ends meet. Your Honor, there's no doubting what happened in this incident is extremely serious, certainly with respect to her BAC at the time of the offense, part of which we believe to be influenced by her recent consumption of alcohol. But nevertheless, she understands that drinking and driving, and certainly with some children in the car, is a serious offense. And I think that her actions have demonstrated that she understands how serious it is. Something that I am proud of her that she had done, and that I'd like to bring to the court's attention, is the fact that she proactively enrolled in a inpatient substance abuse treatment program at the Share House back in April. This is prior to the institution of any charges. It was really right when I was retained. She indicated to me her willingness and her desire to go to the program to address any underlying substance abuse related issues. Your Honor, she's never been in trouble her entire life. Certainly no substance use related issues, no violent or assault or crime. She had no outstanding warrants. She wasn't on probation or parole. For all intents and purposes, this was an isolated incident, but something that might have been indicative of an underlying problem. And that's why she went and got help. She was in there for over a month, and it didn't stop there either. She continued to attend AA meetings, all under her own volition, because she understands that you can't do something like this, certainly with her kids in the car. We looked at the recommendation, Your Honor, and we believe while most of it is fair and appropriate, we would just ask the court to consider allowing her to continue with that progress she's doing with the Share House. She's even enrolling in the outpatient substance abuse program there. And we're just asking the court to consider a reduction on the amount of time. I think that 6 months would allow her to accomplish all the objectives set out on probation, and just that the community service might just get in the way of her ability to make a living and take care of those four kids who are relying upon her both financially and for support as well. But I'll turn it over to Ms. Wargo if she has anything else to add.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Were you able to hear your client just now, sir?
No.
She says she has nothing to add.
Okay.
Thank you. The offense date in this matter was March 21st, 2023, at which time the Romulus Police issued citations charging Ms. Wargo with operating with a blood alcohol content of 0.17 or more, driving while licensed, suspended, revoked, or denied, and failing to stop or identify after a property damage accident. She appeared before this court on July 6, 2023, and entered a plea of guilty to the reduced count of operating while intoxicated. The other two charges were dismissed. Mr. Zayed, even though you indicated that she had a high blood alcohol content, I would like to say for the record that the blood alcohol content was 0.27. Ms. Wargo was operating with that high of a blood alcohol content with minor children in the car, having struck another vehicle and failing to stop. And although that third charge was dismissed, it should be noted that that is a great threat to public safety in this matter. And although this is Ms. Wargo's first alcohol-related offense, it is at the top of the scale in terms of reckless behavior, especially again with the minor children in the car. That being the extent of the lecture in this matter, the court will adopt the recommendation made by Mr. Grant, place Ms. Wargo on 12 months of reporting probation. And Mr. Zayed, I heard your request to reduce that amount, but Mr. Grant has sent this court notification that he believes that that is an appropriate amount of time. Ms. Wargo will be responsible for all oversight fees associated with that probation. The court will impose a $500 fine. There's $200 in costs. There's $150 in restitution to the city of Romulus, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. That's $1,475. Mr. Grant will double check my math. Ms. Wargo will be responsible to complete 48 hours of community service at a nonprofit and provide documentation to the probation department. If you don't already have a relationship with a nonprofit organization, Mr. Grant or Mr. Taylor in the court's probation department has a list of places which will help you complete the hours. You will enroll in outpatient substance abuse treatment within the next 30 days and follow all recommendations from that program and provide documentation to the probation department. Mr. Zayed, even though you indicate that your client did go to Share House from March 26th until May 1st, she has failed to provide documentation of that to Mr. Grant or any of her ongoing efforts with that program. If she provides documentation to him, the court would reconsider the requirements of paragraph 7. She will continue an alcohol support group with a minimum of 1 time per week with documentation to the probation department as directed. You will enroll in a parenting class within 30 days and provide documentation to the probation department. You will not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages or non-prescription controlled or mood-altering substances without this court's approval, and submit to random ETG testing a minimum of twice per month or as otherwise directed by probation. You will make equal payments on the fines and costs imposed in this matter. And Ms. Wargo, the court's concern is because you have the weight of 4 minor children and working to support them, that you will have issues possibly during the life of your probation. Please reach out to Mr. Grant. If there is some issue with payments, enrolling in classes, providing documentation for treatment, reporting to testing, the sooner you reach out to him and let him know that you're having a small issue, the better it is. If you wait until you're falling off of your probation requirements, this court does not look kindly upon people who have resources such as Mr. Grant available to them and do not accept or reach out to utilize those resources. Mr. Zaid, anything else on behalf of your client this morning?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything else, Ms. Wargo?
No,
Good luck to you, ma'am. Have a good afternoon.
thank you.
Thank you. Pravanchi?
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you today?
I am super. How have you been?
Not bad, thank you. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Do you have Ms. Gorey?
She's en route to me right now. She had to make a pit stop. She should be here in 2 minutes.
Okay, if there's someone else that we can address, we will do that. I see a lot of Sisler. And he's actually scheduled first at 9 o'clock. And my apologies to the observers and the victims in this case, but we have another in custody that's scheduled at 9:30, but has a case next door. So if Ms. Gorey presents herself, I'd rather take that case out of order. Mr. Jadala, have you spoken to Ms. Gorey?
Your Honor, not only have I not spoken to Mr. Corey, I've received an email from probation that there was no PSI done either.
There wasn't a PSI requested. This court wanted the victims in this case to have the opportunity to submit a victim statement or appear in person to give it. The court has received from both Ms. Martin, the victim, and the younger Ms. Gorey letters and reviewed those letters. And then they're here this morning to be heard. So I just wanted them to have an opportunity because this court did, and the court has spoken to Mr. Grant regarding the matter, and he takes no position or makes no recommendation.
And yes, Your Honor, and what we asked last time was that this court at the date of sentencing would consider time served. And I recall that you said you wanted to get victim impact statements, and that's what we'd be allocating for a time served sentence.
Thank you. Mr. Grant, I saw you this morning and I did not, you were walking with someone else. I didn't stop to ask you how things were going. How was your life on the dock and the boat this weekend?
It was nice. I was late.
Didn't happen.
Did
Did not happen.
That means it's only put off for next.
I know, it's fine. It just means that there's rocks and dirt in the garage for a little bit longer. I'll keep parking outside. It's okay. It's first world problem.
Yeah. As long as they move before the snow gets here.
That's the goal. I don't mind parking outside if it means that I can work on other projects in the garage.
I just stick my nose in the trowel next to it.
We're waiting for,
I thought I heard a little chatter on the Zoom. But
Ms. Martin. It'll be the next case we call. How are you this morning?
I'm blessed. Yourself?
Same.
It's even better that she in a, it's a total nightmare. I never thought I would ever live like this.
Your Honor, ma'am, I have Miss Glory.
Thank you. These are 230253OM, 220460OM, 23RP03544OM, and 220112OM, 220110OM. These are all City of Romulus versus Gorey. May I have your appearances?
Respectfully, Your Honor, Samer Jadala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Ms. Gurry for purposes of sentencing.
Ma'am, state your name for me, please.
Shantini Glory.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for sentencing in these matters. We have an offense date of April 3rd, 2023 of stalking and disorderly person. Ms. Gorey appeared before this court on August 3rd and pled guilty as charged to count 2, being a disorderly person. 220460 was an offense date of May the 20th, 2022, at which time Ms. Gorey was charged with malicious use of commercial carrier and threats. Appeared before this court on August 3rd and entered a plea of guilty as charged to count 1, malicious use of commercial carrier. There is count 3, trespassing, file number 23RP03544OM, offense date of June 30th, 2023. The charge is trespassing. Ms. Gorey entered a plea of guilty as charged to that on August 3rd, 2023. 220112, the charge was assault and battery and malicious destruction of property. The August 3rd, 2023 plea was guilty as charged to the assault and battery. And then 220110OM, offense date of January 30th, 2022. The charge was harassment, again in the city of Romulus. The plea was guilty as charged on August 3rd, 2023. The victim in all of these cases is Shawanda Martin. When Ms. Gorey entered her pleas on August 3rd, the court referred the matter to probation to send notice to Ms. Martin asking if she wished to submit a victim impact statement or wished to appear in person for this sentencing. Ms. Martin did submit a letter. This court did review that letter, read that letter in its entirety, along with print screens of text messages between Ms. Gorey and Ms. Martin, the police report documenting runs to Ms. Martin's home, either in response to Ms. Gorey appearing at the property, some action undertaken by Ms. Gorey, or on call from Ms. Martin. The court has also reviewed Ms. Gorey's criminal history. Mr. Jadala, was there anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client before sentence was imposed in this matter?
And Your Honor, all I'd like to add is with respect to the request that this court would consider time served. I believe Ms. Gorey has spent a considerable time there at the Wayne County Jail.
Ms. Gorey, how long have you been in custody?
I don't have a calendar, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is Deputy Provenci. She was booked into the Wayne County Jail on July 25th.
Thank you. Ms. Martin, was there something you'd like to say before sentence is imposed in this matter?
Yes, ma'am. I feel like Shantanique needs to be in an institution to get help. She's going to keep. It's been going on for 5 years. Not even a matter that I've been raising her daughter. You know, I've been having her daughter for 5 years. She asked me to get her daughter. You know, she won't get herself together. She come out there and destroy my property. She stalks me. She got my mail transferred somewhere else. She just do so much, and she need help. She need to take her medicine. She needs to be in a long-term institution to get herself together. She don't need to do time served. She need help. It's sad. I watched her grow up. She stayed with me since she was 9 years old. And look at her. That's not her. That's not her. She done went to school. She got a trade. She's a smart young girl, but the mental illness then took over her. That's what her daughter want. Her daughter want her mom back.
Rose worried.
Anything else, Ms. Martin?
She just need help.
Mr. Jadala, was there anything else you'd like to say on behalf of your client?
Nothing further, Judge.
Thank you. The letters that the court, thank you, Ms. Martin. The letters that the court received from both Ms. Martin and Ms. Gorey's daughters are very specific and indicating that they don't necessarily want Ms. Gorey in jail. They want her to receive help. This court cannot force her to get this help based on the charges that are before it. So,
Excuse me,
Mr.
Your
Jadala,
Honor.
what?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. I only have one daughter. Marilyn Harrington is not my daughter or my daughter's sister. Do not speak on my behalf, Marilyn. I can prove it through DNA. Shanti Harrington isn't even my daughter's father. Mental illness is ridiculous when she's a she-male and she's talking on my behalf like I slept with her. Shavonda Maria. Marilyn, stop it. Sorry, Your Honor.
No, ma'am, you have an absolute right to say
I
what
have
you want to
one
say
daughter,
because this is your
and
sentencing.
it's against the law for them to be speaking or knowing about me. It's ridiculous. We both need to be evaluated under the Constitution. It's ridiculous. Shanti Harrington isn't my daughter's father, but that's not mental illness. Stop it. Project Living selling crack, but you a psychiatrist? Bro, bye. You on a nut.
Ms. Gorey, what the court will do is give you credit for time served in the cases that end in 253, 460, 112, and 110 and close those matters out. And the 23 RP 03544OM file, which is the trespassing case, the most recent case from June 30th, 2023, the court will impose the following. There's a fine of $100, cost of $100, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost and $20 fund fee. The court will place you on 6 months of non-reporting probation. A condition of your probation is that you have no contact with Ms. Shawanda Martin. No contact means no contact. No
So she
direct
shouldn't be
contact, no
around my
contact
daughter.
through, no contact
Sorry,
through
Your
third
Honor.
parties, no contact through social media. Should this court receive reports that you have made efforts to be in contact or communication with Ms. Shawanda Martin, it will be viewed as a violation of the terms of your sentence. Do you understand? Mr. Jadala, anything else on behalf of your client?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you for your consideration in this matter.
Anything else? Ms. Gorey? Thank you, ma'am. That concludes this matter. Mr. Jadala, Ms. Gorey, I believe, has a hearing with Judge Oakley.
I
Thank you.
understand. I do not represent her in that matter, but thank you, Judge. May you and your
Okay.
staff have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mr. Jadala. Thank you, Officer Pravanchi.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're dialing into Judge Oakley's right now.
Have a good day.
You too, ma'am.
Ken. He has a jury trial? I know, but he has other things scheduled. I don't know how that worked out.
I'll stay in my lane.
I know. I say the same thing. So that's gonna take me a minute. That was after consultation with a licensed therapist this weekend.
Okay.
Mr. Hadley,
Yes, Your Honor, we're here on a show cause for Mr. Lawrence Shelley.
210129 SM. This is State of Michigan versus Lawrence Shelley. Your appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, appearing on behalf of the defendant probationer, Mr. Lawrence Shelley. Mr. Shelley, please state your name for the judge. Lawrence Shelley.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the violation hearing. There's a report from Anthony Grant of the court's probation department that indicates that Mr. Shelley has completed 16 of the 26 weeks of batterers counseling and has not provided updated documentation to the probation department since August 24, 2021. That he continues to make payments on his fines and costs, but he still owes $2,165 in this matter. Mr.
I was just saying, and the balance is, I believe, adjusting pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly.
It's at 1785.
Thank you.
Your Honor, as to the technical violation, we will plead responsible. I have had a chance to speak with Mr. Grant. I think what we're looking at here really is trying to come up with a solution to get this, get this past the finish line. Because the batterers course, as you guys are kind of programmed, it's going to be difficult for him to just jump back in. Mr. Grant has, again, I don't want to put words in his mouth. My understanding is we're not looking to make Mr. Shelley reboot the whole, course, start out from scratch. If we could find an alternate, again, he was successful in, the coursework previously. It was until an auto issue and kind of life happened a little bit. It wasn't like there was a, booting him out of the course or anything like that. It was going well. So if we could come up with maybe an alternate to some type of anger management, conflict resolution course that would satisfy the remaining obligation while he continues to pay down the final dollar amount, I would really hope that that could get us to the completion of this matter.
Mr. Grant.
Probation department's fine with that. I did speak with the veterans counseling program that he was enrolled in. They did want him to start all over because of the gap in time. I would be fine if he found possibly a 10-hour online domestic violence class to finish up his requirement here with the court and continue payments.
Your Honor, I'd be more than willing to work with Mr. Grant and Mr. Shelley to try to kind of Google that, as they would say, and find something that would meet these requirements.
That being the case, Mr. Hadley, the court will accept the plea of responsible to the technical violation and allow, that's okay, and allow Mr. Shelley to resume his classes, more of the online 10-hour DV class. He does not have to Google that. Mr. Grant will assist him in getting connected with a program that meets the requirements. Mr. Shelley will continue to make payments in this matter. Mr. Grant, do you see a need to reset, adjourn the date out to have him come back for review?
I apologize. My only question is his end date was 4/30/22, so do we need to extend that probation 4 weeks in order to get him completed with that domestic violence class?
Yes, we do, Mr. Grant. I understand that this case had gone into warrant status because of Mr. Shelley's failure to appear for quite a period of time. So we will extend the probation to match the time needed to complete the 10-week program. We're a little bit beyond that so that we can be sure that he has completed and provided the documentation to the probation department. Acceptable, Mr. Hadley?
Absolutely, Your Honor. We love it when we come up with solutions.
Anything else this morning as relates to Mr. Shelley?
No, Your Honor. Thank you for hearing us out.
Thank you. Mr. Shelley, good luck to you. Have a wonderful day, okay? Absolutely.
I brought her on file. Corey, can you just tell her I'll close her file since that's one assuming you put her on probation here?
I did.
I'm just gonna close my file.
Probation should be calling you right now.
He's on.
Okay. Okay.
Because I'm just getting ready. Thanks. The first
Okay.
7 people. Brought you on file.
Thank you. These are the violations. We'll have to wait for a minute. Wait a minute. I'll be right back. We'll call it Sisler right now. Just got to grab the file.
Your Honor, I'm gonna run downstairs to see what needs to be checked in.
Thank you. Thank you.
And she said, Dougie, thank you. Well, your hand. You can't demand.
Are you here with?
I guess I'll do Gory's show. Is Bruce gonna close that matter out?
Yeah. Are you Sisler?
Sure. Is it the sentencing on like the?
Yeah.
I have not received a PSI. But Mr.
There's not a
Grant-
PSI.
Okay. But yeah, I'm here for whatever.
You're here for whatever?
Yeah, the VOP sentencings, I think
Okay.
is kind of that new.
Hybrid model.
Yeah. and, roll with it.
These are 23BL00577 OM, 23BL00568 OM, 23BL00474 OM, 23BL00548 OM, 23BL00554 OM, 23BL00560 OM, 23BL00603 OM, 23BL00648 OM, 23BL00668 OM, 23BL00625 OM, 23BL00682 OM, 23BL00686 OM. These are all City of Belleville versus Michael Sisler. May I have your appearance, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, being on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Michael Sisler.
I'm sorry, what happened to Chief All?
Yes, ma'am.
You're there with Mr. Sisler?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. He is currently over at Van Buren Township, waiting for his arraignment and the sentencing.
Okay. Andy, will you give Van Buren a call? No, we're not. We have. This is 23RP004530M. This is City of Romulus versus Shantanique Gorey. Ms. Gorey is back on the screen. Ma'am, state your name for the record. Ms. Gorey, you were scheduled this morning for a show cause with Judge Oakley. You were on 12 months of non-reporting probation with him for malicious use of a commercial carrier. The show cause information indicates that you'd never made a payment of the $550 that were owed, and you had incurred new criminal charges. Judge Oakley is in the midst of a jury trial. He asked that I call this matter and indicate to you that the file will be closed. Do you have any objection to that, ma'am?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. That concludes this matter. Thank you, Officer Pravanshi, for getting back, logged back into this courtroom.
Thank you, Your Honor. All the best to you and your staff.
You too, sir.
Are you kidding me?
Mr. Sisler may not want to speak to me. I don't know.
He might.
He's waived counsel in the past.
He has. There's no PSI either because there are a multitude of people who wanted to be heard. So I wanted to schedule it separately so that people weren't stymied because of the number of other cases that needed to be heard this morning. We had 3 more. So we need to break from Sisler to do your 3 remaining. If they're not here by 9:45, I'll deem them as having failed to appear anyway.
I didn't know we were.
I didn't. That's why he came in here. And then he brought the wrong file. So we had the right file. So it worked out. Oh. First of all, we're delights. So I don't know why people don't want to come.
There's one other like right place, right time. Come here.
There's a value to being in person.
If there really is, that wouldn't, you know what I mean? If we'd done that, he would have walked and had no idea. So words came out of my mouth. And everybody was
We had a slew of that back in 21. When we start going back in person, people didn't know how to zip it. Yeah, slashed his tires, but I'm like, no, we don't confess to crimes on the record.
I think the work with Royce and like kind of falling backwards to family law, that's where I've seen it the most.
The judge asked time.
Yeah.
Is that my sister?
Good morning,
my-
sir. Would you state your name for me, please?
Michael Sisler. What is Ann Sisler doing here?
Mr. Sisler, the court called the plethora of cases that we have scheduled for this morning. You had cases scheduled for sentencing, but you also had cases scheduled for arraignment.
I know this. Why is Ann Sisler here?
Mr. Sisler, this is an open court. People are allowed to log on. to
Okay,
either
I
view the
object to
proceeding-
Leanne Nagy being here. Take her out.
Sir, that's not how this works.
Okay.
People who have an interest in the matter have the an opportunity to be heard if it is necessary to the proceedings. The other thing I was starting to say, sir, is I hear you, but let me do my part and then you can do your part, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Sisler, you also had 2 cases that were in warrant status. I believe that those are
They're
easier
misdemeanors.
cases
Where's
to.
Chris Norman?
Let her talk, let her talk.
Those are easier cases to deal with, sir, so we'll do those. You have a right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney for purposes of arraignment. Mr. Sisler, were you looking for the assistance of an attorney for your arraignment on?
I
there is
certainly
a-
am.
You certainly
Yes,
are?
I am for assistance. Yes.
Okay. We'll do a breakout room. Mr. Sisler, what'll happen is the attorney, Mr. Josh Hadley, is walking back to a room. He'll take you into a breakout room to talk to you about these matters.
Continue.
I'm stopping, sir, because he's in the hallway. He's not gonna hear it. He's walking in right now. Mr. Hadley, there's a state case that's 23 BL 00609A. That's a June 8th, 2023 driving while license expired. And then there is a 230258 OM. That's a April the 19th, 2023 retail fraud from the mobile gas station. There is a bond recommendation of 5,000, 10%. Mary Ann or Andy will get Mr. Sisler moved into the breakout room with you. And in your absence, sir, I will place the failures to appear for the violation hearings on the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. This
Where's
is
Chris?
This is 22BL 00649B. This is City of Belleville versus Joanna Bowers. This matter was scheduled this morning for Ms. Bowers to reappear. She was sentenced back on March the 27th, 2023. There was a first violation hearing on June the 5th, 2023, where she failed to provide proof of community service. The matter was adjourned and she reappeared on July 10th, 2023, again failed to provide any proof of the community service having been done, failed to make payment, indicated that she was going to be beginning a job. Ms. Bowers has incurred new criminal charges, domestic violence case out of Warren. There are warrants out of Allen Park and out of Wyandotte. The last time that Ms. Bowers was before this court was on July 10th, 2023, and the court did advise that should she fail to become compliant by resuming payments and providing proof of her community service hours and proof that she had resolved the case in Warren and the outstanding warrant issues, that a period of jail confinement would be imposed. That being the case, this matter having been scheduled at 9:30, it now being 9:45, Ms. Bowers having failed to appear, Mr. Grant, has she rectified any of the issues addressed on June 5th or July 10th?
She has not.
Thank you. Defendant having failed to appear and remaining non-compliant, a bench warrant shall issue in this matter 5,000, 10%. This is 124373 OM. This is City of Romulus versus Marcus Gibson. There is a violation information notice attached to the front of the file that indicates that Mr. Gibson contacted the court wanting to clear up this old matter. He was given a court date to reappear on some other cases. He has a remaining balance of $490 in this case. He had failed to complete 4 days on the work program that he had been sentenced to back on January 7th, 2023. He's failed to complete the substance abuse education program. This matter was scheduled at 9:30, it being 9:46 by this court's clock. Mr. Grant, do you have any update from Mr. Gibson?
I do not.
Mr. Gibson, having failed to appear for hearing in this matter after reaching out to the court and remaining non-compliant, the bench warrant that is already in effect in this file will remain in effect. This is 230489 SD. This is State of Michigan versus Darren Reed. This matter was scheduled this morning for a violation. The violation notice indicates that the defendant failed to return the necessary paperwork to probation so that a pre-sentence interview could be scheduled. Mr. Reed had last appeared in this court on July 26, 2023, and entered a plea of guilty to the reduced count of operating while visually impaired. Mr. Grant, has Mr. Reed since been in contact or communication with you?
He is not.
This matter having been scheduled at 9:30, it being 9:47 by the court's clock, the defendant having failed to appear and having failed to provide the paperwork requested by the probation department and discussed with him when he pled on July 26, 2023, bench warrant shall issue 5,010%. This is 220705 SM. This is State of Michigan versus Gabriel Stevens. This matter was scheduled at 9:30 for review. There is a violation notice attached to the front of the file that indicates that Mr. Stevens was supposed to enroll in court-ordered 12-week anger management class and parenting class. He has not provided probation with documentation showing that he has been attending his anger management class or his parenting class. He has failed to maintain his payment plan in this matter, last payment having been made on March the 21st, 2023. Sir?
So this is actually a violation. Mr. Reed?
I just passed that matter, Mr. Reed, the 2023 case,
He's been
0489.
patiently waiting on me. I didn't realize.
Thank you. Mr. 230489 SD, Mr. Reed is present. We will recall the matter. Where was he waiting?
Seems to check in with the officers out there. I just didn't realize he was sitting up there waiting on me.
In the Stevens matter, the last time we were here was on July 31st, 2023. Mr. Stevens indicated that the classes had been paid for but not yet completed. We adjourned the matter to today for Mr. Stevens to complete the classes and provide the documentation. Mr. Grant, have you had any update from Mr. Stevens?
I have not.
Defendant remaining non-compliant and failing to appear this morning, bench warrant shall issue 5,010%. Did you speak to Mr. Reed or do you need to speak to him regarding?
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Set to go.
Okay.
My understanding, we're just gonna be addressing the recall of the warrant. He's got some paperwork to do, and that's about it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Let me recall that.
thank you, Your Honor.
This is a recall of 230489 SD. Mr. Reed, my apologies to you. The court had called the matter. This is our first time live, so we have some Zoom, some live, so my apologies. Your appearance, Mr. Hadley.
Thank you, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, acting on behalf of the defendant probationer, Mr. Reed, please state your name. Aaron Scott Reed. Your Honor, as to the technical violation here on the show cause, we'll plead responsible. Had a chance to speak with Mr. Reed. It was issues opening the packet on his phone, was my understanding. We're gonna put pen to paper and get it done today before he leaves the building.
Mr. Grant?
That's fine.
Thank you. Mr. Reed, the court will accept your plea of responsible to the technical violation. Going forward, if you receive any contact or communication from any member of this court's probation department and you have any issues accessing that information, there are a multitude of ways to get a hold of this court. There's phone, there's email, there's the court's website. You can put a contact us. When you appeared here last on July 26, 2023, one of the last things I would have said to you is that the probation department will be in contact or communication with you by phone and email. It is imperative that you respond to every effort from the probation department to be in contact and communication with you. So again, should you ever have any trouble accessing any information, any communication from either Mr. Grant, Ms. Nagy, Ms. Tiroli, Ms. Randolph, Mr. Taylor, there are a multitude of ways to get a hold of anyone in this building. That being the case, please be in contact with Mr. Grant to get your interview scheduled. There will be forms for you to complete so that we can get you interviewed and get your sentence recommendation developed, okay? Anything else? Have a good day. Thank you for being patient this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
We're all set to go, Mr. Sisler. I'm just gonna run back to my.
Okay.
screen robot. Yeah.
Thank you.
This is terrible.
Anything else, Mr. Grant? I'll see you later. You want to? No worries. Thank you. This is a recall of 23BL00609 AST. This is State of Michigan versus Michael George Sisler. Your appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Sisler, who's appearing via Zoom. Mr. Sisler, please state your name for the court.
Michael George Sisler.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, this is the arraignment from June 8th, 2023. Belleville Police driving while license expired. For purposes of arraignment, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we'll be pleading not guilty at this time and waive formal reading.
Thank you. Mr. Sisler, were you able to hear Mr. Hadley just now?
I hear him very well. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Not guilty. Bond in this matter will be set at 1,000 personal. Mr. Sisler, you do not need to post any money for this driving while license expired matter, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until this matter is resolved in its entirety. Your return date on this matter, I'm sorry, Mr. Hadley, the court is recalling the warrant.
Thank you.
And your next appearance date will be on Zoom on August the 30th at 9:45 a.m. with Judge Green in courtroom number 3. Again, this is 23BL00609.
Is that T Green?
Yes, Judge Green.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
Thank you. I like her.
Sorry, Your Honor, what time was that at?
9:45 on August the 30th.
Gotcha.
What is today's date?
Thank you.
21st?
Today is the 21st. Yes, sir.
Okay, who's present here at the courtroom to give me a ride home?
I'm sorry?
Who's present at this courthouse to give me a ride home, or do I have to walk home?
I don't know who's present in the courtroom, and there's no one in the courtroom except the probation agent and my officer. There are multiple people on the screen, sir. There are multiple people on the screen, sir, that might be able to assist you, but we're not quite there yet. We have 230258OM Van Buren Township versus Michael Sisler.
Continue.
Mr. Hadley, there was a warrant in this matter. Mr. Sisler was arraigned back on July 13, 2023 by Al Henman. He was supposed to appear for a pretrial with Judge Oakley on August 3rd and failed to appear. Based on his failure to appear, a warrant was entered in this matter. Did you have the opportunity to speak to him regarding this retail fraud case out of Van Buren Township?
We did, Your Honor. And we'll again enter a plea of not guilty and stand mute. Or actually, I'm sorry. We'll waive the formal reading, enter a plea of not guilty. My apologies.
Thank you. Mr. Sisler, the court is recalling the warrant in this Van Buren Township mobile gas station case.
Continue.
Mr. Sisler, because of your prior failures to appear, the court has concerns that you would fail to reappear again. But the Public Safety Department indicates that they do not oppose personal bond. The court will impose bond in this matter of 1,000 personal. You do not need to post any money. But what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until such time as the matter is resolved. Your next appearance date in this case will be a pretrial on Thursday, September 7th at 9:15 a.m. with Judge Oakley. Condition of your bond is that you do not return to 10950 Belleville Road, which is the mobile gas station in Van Buren Township. Again, it's 230258OM. Next appearance date, September 7th at 8:15 a.m. Do not return to mobile. Anything else in this case, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the arraignment matters. The court will now return to the sentencing matters. These cases having previously been called, ending in 577, 568, 474, 548, 554, 560, 603, 648, 668, 625, 682, and 686. Mr. Sisler, when you appeared before this court on July 20th, 2023, you waived your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. The court scheduled the matter for sentencing so that the victims in this case, the people immediately adjacent to you, who were either the victims and the disorderly persons, the breach of the peace cases, the malicious destruction of property, or the larceny case, could appear and be heard. The court did not receive copies of the police report, so court does not have the details of the events that occurred between May 10th, 2023 through the most recent one of the ones being sentenced this morning, which was July 13th, 2023. But Mr. Sisler, was there anything you wanted to say on your own behalf before the court heard from the people impacted by your behavior and imposed sentence in this matter?
Yeah, I'd like to apologize and make a further note that I'm dating Kimberly and was married to Katerina Moeller. Don't forget that. She died. She snapped her neck at the racetrack. 2018, Sebring Raceway.
My condolences to you, Mr. Sisler.
Thank you. She was pregnant with twins. It was a monumental loss. Natasha left me. I've been through a lot. Chubbs died, my dog. I miss Chubbs. I'm dating Kimberly from the Dollar Tree. I'm gonna give her a ring. I dated Katie. I'm looking with Kate. That it?
Mr. Sisler, the court's concern is that your pattern of behavior suggests something else. And I understand that you've had these losses.
Yeah, I'm
that
bipolar too. I take lithium and Seroquel. I take my meds every day. I walk 5 miles a day. I'm in good shape. I'm building a race car called Sizzler 2, a jet car.
Mr. Sisler, on advice of counsel, I think just let the judge finish speaking. When she's done, she'll ask you if you have anything else to
I
say.
understand. I understand.
No, Mr. Hadley, I appreciate that, but Mr. Sisler has waived the right to have the assistance of the MIDC attorney this morning, and there
You're
are
right.
people on this, there are a multitude of people on the screen, and there were people who tried to speak to speak in this matter when Mr. Sisler entered his pleas of guilty, but because there was a full docket, the court did not hear them. So at this time, I see that there are officers present. There is the chief, the acting chief from Belleville present. So I want to hear from, let's start with acting chief. Was there something that you wanted to say in this matter?
Thank you, Your Honor. We're just extremely concerned, like you, with Mr. Sisler's behavior. It's still continuing. He hasn't stopped his behavior, and we're just looking for the court to give us some help with him.
What does help mean to you, chief?
Your Honor, at this point, I mean, like I said, he's been kicked out of every business on Main Street. The neighbors have had enough of him. You know, whatever you want to do in regards to sentencing, that's fine, but I truly feel bad for the neighbors and all the victims in his cases today.
Well, what about me? I'm
Thank
pretty
you.
pissed off,
Officer
too.
Adam?
Yes, Your Honor. I agree with everything
some-
Chief said. We have continued to have, most recently, a few days ago, contact with Mr. Sisler regarding loud music. He's disturbing the peace. I agree with Chief. We need some assistance with him.
And it stopped. I don't play music anymore.
It's been about 3 days.
Right, 3 days. I don't play music anymore. I got headphones.
That's all for me, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Sisler, there are, again, a multitude of people here, some labeled as observers, some labeled as neighbors. The court wants to go to 682. This was an offense date of July the 10th, 2023, where the charge was larceny under $200. When you appeared on July 20th, 2023, you entered a plea of guilty. The court asked the probation department to send notice to the person who alleged that you stole your ornaments, that person being Ms. Reeder. Is Ms. Reeder present this morning? Hearing no response and seeing that Ms. Reeder has not returned the form that was mailed to her by the probation department on July 25th, which asked that she either log on this morning or submit proof of her monetary loss for the offenses, the court will do the following in this case. Again, this is the case that ends in 682. Mr. Sisler, the court will impose a fine of $100, cost of $100, crime victims fee of $75, mandatory state cost of $50, and fund fee of $20. That's $345. Sir, the issue of restitution will be held in abeyance, which means that the victim, the complainant, has the opportunity to submit the request for reimbursement or restitution in this matter, and the court would amend your sentence to include restitution to Ms. Reeder should she wish to proceed that way.
I understand.
Thank you.
I asked the court. to
The
get
other
personal-
case, sir, I'm sorry, Mr. Sisler, the other case is 23BL00668OM. This was June the 29th, 2023, malicious destruction of property. The indication is that you did damage the fence on the property line owned by resident Christy Sykes residing at, and it lists her address. The allegation is that it was the damage, well, not allegation anymore since you pled guilty. The citation indicates that you did damage with a hammer with malice. Ms. Sykes is here. Ms. Sykes, did you wish to be heard in this matter? You have to unmute yourself, ma'am, first and state your name for the record.
My name is Christy Sykes.
Ma'am, what is it you'd like to say in this matter?
I would just like to say first and foremost that it has been 3 days since the police have been called about his music, but the music is still playing. His headphones have not been in his ears. And besides that, I would just like to say that we have been a victim for many years with the things that he has done. This isn't the first series of his unhealthiness that has happened. There's times where he's on his medication and he acts fine and we don't hear from him. But this last 3 months has been miserable. I've had more than I can take of him.
Ms. Sisler, was there a specific request you wanted to make for restitution regarding the damage to your fence?
I don't want any money, but I want him to get the help that he needs. He needs to be institutionalized. He has mental issues that need to be taken care of. I feel like he is dangerous to the community. He is a very big nuisance to our neighborhood, and I don't trust him. I don't trust what could happen.
Respectfully, Ms. Sykes, this court is not in a position to institutionalize Mr. Sisler. This court, being a district court, does not have that power or authority. If there are people who wish to proceed in that matter, there is another court that would handle, address, and respond to that request. Because the issue before this court as relates to you is a destruction of property, this court has the authority to impose fines and costs in an order of restitution. If you at this time are indicating that you're waiving your right to have restitution in this matter regarding the damage to the fence, the court will note the file and proceed with sentencing in this matter.
Okay, I don't want anything from the fence ordeal.
Thank you. Mr. Sisler, the court will again impose a fine of $100, cost of $100, or $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, and $20 fund fee. The court will indicate that Ms. Sykes has waived her right for restitution in this matter.
Your Honor.
Ma'am?
I was just wondering if my daughter could speak. She has something she would like to say. And her name is Jade.
Is it about the malicious destruction of property?
Yes.
Ma'am, unmute yourself, state your name for the record.
My name is Jade Sykes.
What is
Can
it
you
that
hear?
you'd like to
Sorry.
say, ma'am? Yes, ma'am, you're fine.
Sorry, I'm traveling. I just wrote a letter that we forgot to send in, but I kind of wanted to read it about pretty much everything that's been happening lately. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My name is Jade Sykes. During the 26 years of my life, my family and I have resided at 104 Bedell Street, directly next door to Mike Sisler. Throughout these years, we have experienced both good and bad times with Mike. Unfortunately, our experiences with Mike have progressively gotten worse, and the worst of all being right now. During the last 2 to 3 month period, Mike has been very disrespectful to my family as well as other families in the neighborhood. On multiple occasions, we are here today is because of all the noise disturbances he has caused. There are many times throughout the week that Mike will play his music at a very high level. It doesn't matter the time of day or night. We have attempted to discuss with Mike the fact that he is playing his music too loud, the bass shakes the whole house, and that we would like him to stop, but he always states it's not that loud and that he will stop. The police have been to his house many times, but even after the police leave, he feels it is necessary to replay the music, which is disrespectful to the Belleville police as well. One time when we called the police about his music, not only did he turn his music back on, he decided to take a hammer and knocked off a piece of our wooden privacy fence that is between our yards. In addition to the noise disturbances, recently he has stolen multiple items from multiple members of our community and small businesses. He also got into an altercation with a friend and decided to throw over his bottle of lithium. Please understand that we have 2 puppies and younger kids that come to our house on a regular basis, and that these pills could have seriously harmed or even killed. I am not writing this in hopes that Mike will rot in jail. I am writing this in hopes that he will get some seriously help. It's sad to think back to the times when he used to be a good friend to our family, and now he is nothing more than an enemy. Over these years, he has burnt all bridges, but I can remember Mike being at our graduation parties, birthday parties, family outings, even our holiday dinners. The hope I have right now is that he can get help to make a mentally stable and of sound mind. It is very sad, and I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Sad not only for him, but my community and everything that we have had to deal with. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sykes. Ms. Sykes, as I indicated to your mother, although I understand your concerns and the issues raised, because this is the charge against Mr. Sisler before this case is regarding the malicious destruction of property, the court is limited in what it can do in terms of imposing and crafting a sentence in this matter. And as much as this is a property crime and Ms. Sykes has waived her right to any restitution in this matter, the court will leave the sentence as is, as relates to the fines and costs. Mr. Sisler, as for the balance of your cases, sir, which are disorderly person and breach of the peace, the court's obligation is to craft a sentence which will cause you, would cause you to not want to reoffend, to cause you to not want to reappear. But although you appeared in front of this court on July 20th, 2023 and entered pleas in these matters and wanted to be heard, the court has heard from the acting chief, the officer, and your neighbors that this behavior is continuing. So what does the court do to motivate you to stop? You indicate that you're taking your medication, but that does not seem to be the consensus of the people who come in contact and communication with you.
May I have an opportunity to speak?
Absolutely.
Okay. I have a 5-layer triple core garage door that I replaced. It retains heat and keeps sound in. I promise to play music with that garage door down and only down. Did you hear that?
Mr. Sisler, I heard it, but it clearly is not working as you think it works.
I have headphones now. What more do I do? Shoot my head off? I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna live. I have a girlfriend, Kimberly, the Dollar Tree. I have friends. I will only play the music with the garage door down. You gotta guarantee.
Mr. Sisler, how do you support? Mr. Sisler, how do you support yourself, sir?
I have SSI of $3,000 a month, and I work at Benito's Pizza. I'm buying an F-150 Triton V10. I'm going to Florida for a vacation.
Sir,
There, I'm gone for 2 weeks.
my concern, sir, is that the behavior is not going to stop. That there are no amount
It's
of
going to
fines
stop. I
or
guarantee-
jail time that I can impose that will cause you to stop being disruptive, stop disturbing the peace of your neighbors, and stop being a disorderly
Judge, I'll be
person.
gone for a month to Sarasota. There'll be no one in the house for a month, in about a week. As soon as I get my truck. All right?
Mr. Sisler, there are a multitude of other people here. You indicated that you objected to their presence. What is your specific objection, sir, to them being heard this morning?
Because I don't like my sister. She's my enemy. She is evil. No, she has committed me 14 times. When I about mystify a race car. So I have nothing to say to her. Is that clear, Judge?
Absolutely, sir.
Good.
And if your
because Christy
sister,
Sykes
if
tried
your
to take my
sister,
dog Chubbs.
if your sister and the other observers
You're
are
laughing,
not,
Christy.
do not
You're
have,
laughing.
if they do not, who's laughing?
Me, Christy Sykes threatened to take Chubbs. She says, "Oh, you're not there anymore. We're gonna take him." Cat
Mr.
Moore
Sisler.
heard that. What? You're not gonna take my
Yes.
dog?
Mr. Sisler, what I was starting to say is I hear your objection to your sister or anyone else speaking. My question is
Chris
there
Thorne can
anyone else
speak.
currently, is there anyone else currently in the session who has information or testimony relative to the noise complaints?
No.
The
only
allegations
Chris
of Mr.
Thorne.
Sisler, I'm not asking you, sir. Mr. Sisler being a disorderly person or breaching the peace at any of the instances cited in the citations, that being from May of 2023 through July of 2023. Is there anyone else that wishes to be heard regarding these charges? Ma'am, if you don't have information, if you're not a complainant, a victim in these cases, Mr. Sisler has already raised an objection. Do you have testimony or input specifically regarding the instances that were alleged in the citations?
I have testimony to the threats that he did to me and my son's wife, and I reported that to the police department down here in Medina.
When did that
Yeah.
occur, ma'am?
It's been occurring between April 22nd. I have a series of phone calls that
Yeah.
I could tell.
Ma'am, the cases before this court are all out of the city of Belleville. If the issues that you raised did not occur in Belleville or any of the cities served by this court, it is beyond the jurisdiction of this court.
I do have testimony that I witnessed him doing the hit and run that happened on April 22nd of 2023 up in Belleville, and I hospitalized him directly after that.
Then,
Okay.
ma'am, what I would suggest you do is be in contact and communication. The acting chief of police is on and an officer from Belleville is on, that is a conversation you have with them, not in this open session. Again, for the third time, these cases before this court go from May the 10th, 2023 through July 13th, 2023 in regard to Mr. Sizzler being a disorderly person or breaching the peace of the community.
May I say something regarding his disorderly conduct?
Do you have direct
Here it goes.
observations of these allegations, ma'am?
0.
I have the threats that I have in my phone, and I have the history of being his power of attorney and having to hospitalize him many times.
Ma'am, you've heard me indicate already this morning that that is beyond the scope of this court's jurisdiction and authorities and powers. If that is something you wish to take up in another court, you are more than welcome to take that up in another court, but this court does not have the authority to do anything beyond impose fines or costs, a term of probation, or anything that will be corrective in these matters. So that being the case, the court now having asked multiple times if there's anyone who has been directly impacted and wish to be heard on these matters. Mr. Sizzler, you're waving your hand, sir. How may I help you?
I would like to say goodbye to my sister. Get this one. Christopher Carcione and his wife sent an invitation and disinvited me and Cat Moore to the wedding. And Christy
Okay.
Sykes Jade taped the used maxi pad to my back door. And you know it's true, Christy. And you try to take Chuck like, oh, you're a personal outbank lending. Don't you ever look at me again. You got it in, you're done. You are done.
Mr.
I'll take my
Sizzler.
jet car.
Your Honor,
That is enough at this time. The court will mute
Fine.
you. The court will impose,
And
the
we're
court
out
will
here.
impose
Chrissy,
fines
see
and
ya.
costs. The court will be imposing fines and costs in the remainder of the matters. People who have appeared this morning have comments that are beyond the scope and authority of this court, and the court will suggest that you pursue those matters in the appropriate courts.
Your Honor.
Ms. Sykes,
I feel really threatened by him right now. Like, what step do I take now in order for my safety? If I can't, if like what's going on in this courtroom doesn't relate to, you know, the damage he's caused and stuff, now that he's threatened me and said that I'm done, now where do I go? Now who do I talk to? How do I get
Ms.
help?
Sykes, the acting chief is on. Officer Adam is on. This court cannot respond to future issues. The court can only address what is specifically before us right now.
Your Honor,
And I
so he can
understand-
threaten everyone? How is that acceptable for him to get out and be normal? He's threatened multiple of us. That's not safe for my parents to live there. It's not safe for his sister and her son. It happens every day that he's threatening people. He threatens people downtown. He's telling people I'm throwing pads at his house. Like, it's an issue. He's a liar. I'm over it.
Ma'am, no, listen. I allow people to come on this morning to be heard, but we do not scream out in this court. The court, I have put up with it already this morning from a few people. If you do not have information specifically related to the cases that are before the court this morning, no one else will be heard. The court has now said multiple times that there are other venues that are more appropriate for the sanctions that are sought by certain people, and they know how to access them. This court does not have the power or authority to impose those sanctions in this court, with the allegations being a larceny, a malicious destruction of property, disturbing the peace, or being a disorderly person. The court has allowed Mr. Sizzler to be heard. The court has solicited comment and request for restitution from parties directly impacted by the property damage. I understand that there are other cases coming up the pipeline, and they'll come and they'll be heard by the judges that are assigned to them on that day. But for what's before the court this morning, when the allegations are noise, the remaining allegations are noise, the court will do the following. Mr. Sizzler, in 577 from June the 4th, 2023, loud bass coming from garage, vibrating complainant's home per complainant. The court will impose fines and costs in this matter. There's $100 fine, $100 in cost, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 show cause fee for a failure to appear, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. 568, June 3rd, 2023. The allegation of loud music from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. backyard garage. Again, $100 fine, $100 cost, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 show cause fee, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. Four seven four, May 10th, 2023. Breach of the peace without further specifics. $100 fine, $100 in cost, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 show cause fee for prior failure to appear, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. 548, from May 22nd, 2023. Several loud music complaints from May the 22nd, 2023 through May the 26th, 2023. $100 fine, $100 in cost, $75 crime victims fee, $50 show cause fee for failure to appear, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. (554) May 30th, 2023, in the city of Belleville. Loud music, $100 fine, $100 in cost, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. (560) May 30th, 2023, in the city of Belleville. Defendant received citation earlier on this date at 12:50 hours for same offense, that being loud music. $100 fine, $100 cost, $75 crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, $50 show cause fee for a prior failure to appear, $20 fund fee. (603) June 7th, 2023, again in the city of Belleville, breach of the peace, a noise complaint. $100 fine, $100 in cost, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. 23BL006480M, June 21st, 2023, again in the city of Belleville, breach of the peace without specifics. $100 fine, $100 in cost, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. 6250M, June 17, 2023, city of Belleville. Noise heard from street, breach of the peace, $100 fine, $100 cost, $75 crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee.
Hi, my name is Leanne Nagy. I'm Mike's sister.
This is 23BL006860M. This is July 13, 2023, city of Belleville. This was another loud music. at 3:30 in the morning after, 20 minutes after police had already received a call in this matter. $100 fine, $100 in cost, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. Mr. Hadley, is he still here?
Yes,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Hadley, the court will recall 23BL00609A. That was the Belleville case. The court did not see that there was a request from Belleville that Mr. Sisler's bond in that matter be set at 5,000, 10%. The court recalls the matter to set a bond commensurate with the request of the city of Belleville. Mr. Sisler's bond in that matter will be 5,000, 10%. And Van Buren, thank you. That concludes Mr. Sisler's matters this morning. If you're saying something, you're muted. But thank you, Van Buren. Andy, is there anything else pending? Perkins? Do you swear from the contents affidavit or to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief?
I do. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's as bad as it sounds, or worse.
It's worse. Yeah. she'll have this concern.
How is she?
She's good. I talked to her, try to call her at least once a week, so I just talked to her yesterday.
Hold on one second.